In this video, we cover the basics of importing information into BigWave. There are many ways to import information and different areas to import, but one of the simplest import operations is importing sites to a customer. So we will start there. I'm going to go to my Kroger customer and drill into that and click on the Import Export Center area. Notice that there's no sites right now for Kroger. But I'm going to click on the Import Export Center, ignore this history for now. And I'm going to go to the Import tab, and I am given an option to import an Excel file. So what does this Excel file look like? I'm going to pull this into the frame. This is the file that I'm going to import. This is a list of Kroger sites in the state of Texas. And notice the spreadsheet format is pretty simple and probably familiar to you, but we have in row 1 headers, and in row 2 and beyond all of the information. And each site on this spreadsheet is represented by a single row. And this format is important. So BigWave needs headers, and then it needs everything we're importing to be on a single row. So right now, all of our site information is on this single row, and we will be able to import it. So I'm going to drag my Excel file onto the surface to upload it. So here it is. And I'm going to choose to import sites since we're importing sites. Notice that there is an option to update. Well, we're not updating here, we're actually inserting, so there's nothing to update, but I could use an upload to update items if I want to. Another option you're going to find on every single import is the ability to show differences. And show differences, when this option is checked, doesn't actually affect your backend database at all, but rather it will give you back a spreadsheet that will highlight the differences in the one you uploaded versus the information that it found in the database. And it'll show you clearly, it'll give you a report of how they differ. So that's a useful option. Finally, we're going to check on create regions because sites are organized into regions, and we want to make sure that any sites we import that are in regions, that we create the regions for that. Notice here that under regions, there's no regions right now. But after we import, you'll notice that they're there, and I lost my import information, so let me just start that over. Okay, so we're importing sites. I'm going to create regions. If you upload a spreadsheet that has multiple tabs, then you can choose which tab to import from here on the Use Worksheet dropdown. Notice that each dropdown maps to a field. So this is a BigWave field that we need to, or that we are importing into, and this is where the field is coming from, the Excel spreadsheet. If you look in the drop-down here, notice that every entry in this drop-down matches to a column header from the spreadsheet. So we're simply saying the column that has site name in it needs to go to the BigWave field site name. Now, it just so happens that all of our column headers match our BigWave field names, so they auto-map. But if you have a column that is a different name than, say, site name, maybe just simply name, then you would need to manually map that column header to the BigWave field. If I click on Remove Mappings, notice that everything turns into not mapped. And if I say auto map, then everything auto maps. Because the column header matched the BigWave field name, it was able to auto map. If I want to quickly remove a mapping, I just hit the X, and to re-auto map, click the circle. So click on the X. I don't want to import the delete column or the remapped site ID. I'll click on the import worksheet button. And we get 233 rows imported and 233 rows processed. No warnings and nothing not imported. So if I click on the download feedback spreadsheet, then we can see that we get a little feedback saying the site was created. Now this isn't particularly useful because we already know the site was created, but whenever there is a particular problem on a import row, then this will turn orange and there will be a message here that there has an error or a warning. We will have a subsequent video that covers more error handling and warnings inside imports, but for now we're going to choose the happy path and not show you that stuff. So now if I scroll up, I can see I have 233 sites available to me to create work orders against. So you should be able to see how quickly data can be brought into BigWave through imports. Most of the information people use with commercial accounts is captured in spreadsheets, and almost invariably those spreadsheets are able to be imported into BigWave.